you have the floor. You're first.
What is chapter 6.3, question 22?
Okay. So should I open the book?
Yes, please.
Okay, I am opening the book. I'm going to share my screen. Here it is. No, this is what I want. And I want chapter 6, and I want 6.3 said. Okay, and I have the page number. I have the book. It's always easier for me to put the page number up there. Okay, 576. Okay, and you said number 20. Okay, so we want to maximize profit. Perfect. Safe Shades produces 2 kinds of sunglasses. The total revenue in thousands of dollars from the sales of X thousand sunglasses at 17 each, and Y thousands.
Is that 22?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yes, you said 22 and I was reading 20. No reason. Okay. McLeod Company finds it in its profit P in millions of dollars. Okay. Notation is ugly, but I don't like P of P, if you know what I mean, because it can get confusing. But we're going to make the best out of it. Minus 15P squared, minus 1/10 A squared P, and minus 80. Perfect. So we have the function. Let's see what they're asking us to do. So A is in millions. Okay. P is the price charged per unit. So P dollars per unit. Okay. In dollars, of course. Find the maximum value of P and the values of A and P at which it occurs. The question is twisted, right? I cannot find the maximum and then the values of A and P. Of course, I have to find the lowercase a and lowercase p, and then the maximum value. Well, they're trying to throw us off. That's okay. Good. So we start our procedure in which we find PA and PP. Again, this is a weird notation, but it is what it is. In step number 2, we have PA equals 0 and PP equals 0. So let's find PA and PP. So can anyone help differentiating this function only with respect to A? Very good. Awesome. Only with respect to A.
0.
Perfect. Only with respect to A.
0.
Perfect. Only with respect to A.
1/5 A P.
Excellent. Only with respect to A.
0.
Of course. Only with respect to P.
2A.
Very good. Awesome. Only with respect to P.
80.
Very good. Only with respect to P.
Negative 15P.
You're saying you meant negative 30P. Okay. Only with respect to P.
Would it be 1/10 A squared?
Yes. Only with respect to P.
0.
That's it. Excellent. So now we determine the system. We create the system. So 2P minus 1/5 AP equals 0. And the other one is, I'm going to move 80 to the other side. 2A minus 30P minus 1/10 A squared equals negative 80. Okay, so let's see how we solve this system. Now, I notice here that these two terms have P in common. So I'm going to factor out P. And I have 2 minus 1/5 A in parentheses. 2 minus 1/5 A. Do we agree with this? Let's check. P times 2 is 2P. P times 1/5 A is negative 1, times negative 1/5 A is negative 1/5 AP. So this equation has two possibilities. Either P to be 0, or 2 minus 1/5 A equals 0. So, two options, P to be 0, and the other one, I move 1/5 to the other side, 2 minus 2 equals 1/5 A, which means A cross multiply, A equals 10. So the price per unit cannot be 0. But let's stick with it. Let's say we have obtained two possibilities. So let's continue here. Let's see what happens. So if P is 0, then I will have to determine A. If A is 10, then I will have to determine P. So when P is 0, I have 2A minus 1/10 A squared equals negative 80. And I have to solve this equation in a minute. Now when A is 10, I have 20 minus 30P, 10 squared, 100. 100 divided by 10 is 10, minus 10 equals negative 80. Good, I'm moving on to the next page. So we have two options. Option number 1, P equals 0, and A will be solved from here. I will rearrange it because it's quadratic. I will first of all multiply both sides by negative 10. I don't like fractions. So negative 10 times negative 1/10 will be positive 1, so I have A squared. Negative 10 times 2A is negative 20A. When I move negative 80 to the other side, or it's negative 80 now, times 10 will be 800, and I have to move it to the other side. So that's option 1. And let's try to solve this, see what happens. So with that, let me just make sure that so this times negative 10 was correct, this is correct, this was positive 800, and I move it to the other side, negative 800. So remember, yes, you can use the quadratic formula, but we have the apps feature here. Be very careful how you enter the information. It's degree 2. For me, it's easier to just use the quadratic formula than put it in. But I just want to remind you that you have this option so you don't spend too much time on a test. Okay. So, we got that A equals negative 20. And we got that another A equals 40. Okay. So for now here we have P equals 0, so 0 comma negative 20, which is not possible. I cannot spend negative 20 million on advertising. And the other option is 0 comma 40. The price cannot really be $0 per unit. While we spend 40 million, I'm sorry, careful. So negative 20 comma 0 and 40 comma 0, careful. So A is first. So again, this is still not possible. And this one says that we are spending 40 million and we are selling at the price of 0. I will keep it as is because I want to show you there are possibilities, there are instances in which we can have more than one point to discuss. So leave that alone. Now let's look at the second option. So keeping in mind that A is the X variable and P is the Y variable. Okay. So the second option, A is 10, and we have to determine P from here. So I have negative 30P. 20 minus 10 is 10. When I move it to the other side, I get negative 90. So P equals 3. What does this mean? We spent $10 million for advertising, and we're selling at $3 per unit. Okay? So basically, we have to discuss 2 points, 40, 0 and 10, 3. Okay, perfect. So first step is done. Second step is done. We obtained these 2 points. And now in step 3, all we have to do is calculate the D test, or calculate the D number for both. So in the first case, here's D. Before we put the numbers in, let me just write it out so you remember it. Fxx at this point, I'm going to call it A comma B, just for now, times Fyy at A comma B minus Fxy at A comma B, any point that we are going to look at, squared. If this number is not positive, then there is no max min. Because if it is less than 0 or it is, equal to 0, these situations are not max min. Only if this number is positive. So now we have to calculate something called PAA. That's the PAA. PYY, which is in this case PPP, okay? And this one, which is PAP. So let's determine them and go back to the function. So I have PA, but now I need to determine PAA. So let's differentiate this with respect to A only. What do we get? Perfect. We differentiate this with respect to A only.
Negative 1/5
That's it. Awesome. Negative 1/5 P. Done. Now I want PP. I have PP, but I need PPP. We differentiate this with respect to P.
0.
Perfect. With respect to P. 0. With respect to P. 0. With respect to P.
30. Negative 30.
That's it. Good. Now, PAP. I have PA, and I need to differentiate with respect to P. This with respect to P. Yeah. Minus this with respect to P.
Negative 1/2 P.
Negative 1/5 A.
Negative 1/2 A.
That's it. Perfect. Good. So now, yes, any questions? Go ahead. Any questions? Anyone? I thought someone wanted to say something. No? Okay then. Good. So now we want to determine PAA at 40, 0. 40, 0. This will be 0. PAA for the other one, so this is for number 1 and this is for number 2. We have negative 1/5 times P, which is 3, so this will be negative 3/5. Now we want PPP at any point, it doesn't matter, is negative. And the last one for number 1 and for number 2. So for 40, 0, this one is 40 divided by 5 is 8. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. And the other one with 10, 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, so we have both numbers. So now let's calculate D for both. So please remember, you may encounter more than one possibility. So again, for the first one, we have 0 times, so D equals 0 times, this is still negative 30, it doesn't change, minus negative 6 squared. For the second one, D equals negative 3/5 multiplied by 0. No, I'm sorry, multiplied by negative 30. So, negative 3/5 multiplied by negative 30 and minus 0 squared. So let's see what we get. This is 0. This is negative 6 squared, which is 36, but it has minus in front. So this is a negative number, so there is nothing coming out of it, as we expected. It's impossible to spend 40 million and sell at 0. We knew that that would make no sense, but we wanted to show the steps. So this is positive, this is 0, the whole thing is positive, and this is negative. Because D is positive, and the first one, fxx, is negative, then 10 comma 3 gives us a maximum. Of course, a relative maximum. It could be absolute. Because D was positive and fxx is negative. That is a relative maximum. What is the relative maximum? I have no clue. I have to go back to the original function and plug in 10 comma 3. So, the relative max equals P of 10 comma 3, and I need to calculate it. 2AP, so AP is 30, 2 times 30 is 60, plus 80 times P, 240, minus 15 times 9, minus 1/10, A squared is 100, times P, which is 3, and minus 80, whatever that comes out to be. So this is 300, this is 30, negative 30 minus 80, negative 110, and let's see what this one is. Okay, so I'm getting 300 minus 245. Is this what you got? Did you get 55?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, I went through the steps. I wanted to show that we can have two options, but we knew from the beginning that this meant nothing. I just wanted to show you how to calculate them. But you could have disregarded it from the beginning, as you know, it's not possible. We cannot spend 40 million and make profit by selling at $0 per unit. Any questions? So this is step 3. In step 3, we determine, or we run the D test, you can say, or you can say that we are determining the D number. And once we got there, meaning we determined that the first one, the D was less than 0, we crossed it out immediately. Then in the second, for 10 comma 3, we determined D and we got a positive number, and because fxx, in this case PAA, was negative, we concluded by the D test that 10 comma 3 gives a relative maximum. What is the value of the maximum? I don't know. I have to plug it in and calculate. And this is guaranteed by the D test.